السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حسبنا الله لا إله إلا هو. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير، غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. حسبنا الله لا إله إلا أنت، عليك توكلنا وأنت رب العرش العظيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما، وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم، والحمد لله رب العالمين. It's already 73. Starting opening. Okay.
So we are reading from the Seabed of the Light. We're at the conclusion of it now. It's page 15 for us, and we're almost midway through the bullet points. So we're at the bullet point that says, everything has an apparent and inner spiritual aspect.
Everything has an inner apparent and inner spiritual aspect. We should understand what the text says. Any comment? What everything means?
Everything that exists.
That exists.
Mm-hmm.
Apparent aspect is apparent. But inner spiritual aspect. But the inanimate beings, do they have spirit? What does in spiritual aspect mean? Spiritual aspect. What do you think it may be?
Meaningful, something that speaks to my human conscience.
Actually, it's misleading to call it spiritual aspect. Maybe it is better to call it, apparent and inner aspect. But of course, inner aspect is not.
About angelic aspect, if you call it?
You can, but what does angelic aspect? I think the translators thought that people are not familiar with this kind of vocabulary. It's not, but a meaningful is much better, inner aspect is better, but whether meaningful aspect, inner aspect, spiritual aspect, whatever the language is, doesn't matter. What we understand from it shouldn't be very difficult for you. What do you understand from inner aspect?
For one thing, if something has an inner aspect, it must also there's a contrast. It must have an outer aspect, which is more apparent to me, and there must be an inner aspect then, which is not necessarily something I can detect in the same way I detect the outer aspect.
Give us an example. Without example, I don't understand.
Okay, so the typical example of a book.
Yeah, why not? It is a very
easy to understand.
Yeah.
So when I look at the book, the outer aspect, there's pages, it has the cover, it has the binding, it has ink, it has, it might have a bookmark, whatever. So that's something that's apparent. It's outer aspect, and then, but when I read what is written in the book, the meaning that is transferred over to me is then what might be constituted as the inner aspect, or something that's not necessarily apparent, but something that my consciousness is able to extract meaning from the outer aspect, and that would be the turn into the inner aspect.
Do you think inanimate beings have meaning? We associate meaning, trying to understand the meaning to human beings only. But inanimate things, call it a stone, do they have meaning? Is there anything written on them?
It depends on my interaction with them, you know. I mean, I may look at a rock, I can observe the qualities it has. Let's say I'm trying to throw a pebble into water and get it to make certain vibrations or echoes onto the water. I can look for qualities in it like smoothness or otherwise, or even sturdiness, or any quality that communicates to me that, you know, it's not the owner of these qualities per se. And these qualities that point to something beyond the rock itself. And through that, I can extract, as you were saying, a sense of meaningfulness, even if it's not as explicit as a book is. Or even, easier than a rock example is maybe another famous example, a brownie, right? It doesn't seem to have any sort of meaning written into it. It's certainly not a book. But when I eat it, I definitely love the brownie. I love the sugary rush. I love its texture. I love how sticky it is. And, I find that in myself, I find myself in such a way that I like brownies. The taste and the texture and the qualities it has corresponds perfectly with my likes. And so through that relationship I have with the brownie as I eat it, I can derive a sense of meaningfulness from it, because the brownie itself doesn't know it's giving me this sort of pleasure. It's not self-aware of any of the qualities. In that sense, I can know that the brownie is purposeful, that it has been made in such a way, maybe first at least by a brownie maker who has taken into account my likes and dislikes. They haven't put salt into the brownie because they know that it wouldn't maybe mix with how I'm going to enjoy the brownie. And so if I take into account that this brownie has been made for me, it's like a love letter, because it fulfills the needs I have beyond just, filling up my stomach. I may feel valued by eating the brownie and knowing that someone made it for me especially. And then when I think about it further, even the person who makes the brownie, they're just taking different already existing things and following a certain order that pre-exists. And so they're not creating the brownie per se. And so it leads me to question the source of the brownie and the source of the enjoyment and the ability to form a relationship with the brownie that I have. And so forth.
Oh, thank you. So meaning is extracted by human beings. It needs consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So human beings, we are conscious beings. We can question. Simply when we look at the creation of the universe, and people study the universe, they are called scientists. What everybody is a scientist in a way. Even the farmer is a scientist, looks at the clouds and whether it is, they understand whether it's going to rain or not, for example. So when people say by looking at the clouds, they say now it's going to rain maybe later on. The black clouds are approaching, this kind of thing. It means they are trying to understand the meaning of the clouds, giving a message to human beings. So what the scientists do, they try to understand the principles in the existence of the thing so that they will say, look, it works this way, there is a principle in its existence. Actually, when they write something about the objects, the things, they are extracting the meaning in their existence. In their existence. There must be some meaning in their existence, so they extract it and communicate with them. How do they communicate? Can you communicate with an immaterial thing?
Immaterial?
Immaterial.
For example,
Not like
religious
physics, yeah.
religious activities are like totally material.
Or immaterial thing.
Material or immaterial?
No, immaterial.
So non-physical.
No, I'm confusing the word. You are right. I'm confusing you. Inanimate beings. Communicate with the inanimate beings. For example, can you communicate with the table? Can you? How do you communicate with the table? Communicate.
Put stuff on
Cool. Yeah, you can, but you are acting only from your side. But communication needs two sides. Now the table says, you can put the book on me. You decipher, you understand this meaning from the way that the table is made. Right? So by the way, what's your name?
it? Matthew.
Matthew? Okay, Matt. Can I call you Matt? You know, you are friends. So Matt, can you, from its existence, the way it is, tells you, conveys you some message. What the scientists do, they, for example, study, for example, copper or iron core. And from the way that iron core exists, it's made in this way, the person, the scientist study, they say, look, if I burn this core, iron core, and get the unnecessary stuff in it, only get the iron itself, and study further, this iron becomes very soft, even like liquid. If it is very high degree temperature subject, or put it in an, they call the furnace, high degree, 15,000 degree centigrade degree, then they become liquid, like water. And then as they cool down, they become more and more solid. They found that this news, this message, this meaning from the iron core. So they say, okay, iron says, if you heat me up, I will be very liquid-like, so you can give me any shape you want. Now, iron says, human consciousness understands this message by studying the inner aspect. That's why meaning in the existence of the things. As you said, book example is very easy, and the good example, for example, here is the book, like a book, a page from the book. So it is paper, it is ink. But if there is a meaning in its existence as a writing, you can extract the meaning. Although you don't extract the meaning, for example, you have not read the book, but I can ask Matt now, or you, which one of you will answer. Even you don't communicate with the book, do you think the meaning in the written text is still there? Anyone? Or anyone else? Do you think the meaning in the existence of the page still there? But you didn't communicate with it. You didn't communicate with it.
I mean, the meaning is there, but if I don't communicate with it, like I don't.
When you communicate it, the meaning is transferred to you. That's what the scientists do. The already existing meaning, principles of existence, which is the meaning. For example, I'm not speaking to you, but I look at the brown like this. What does it mean? Yeah, I know. Can I give it to me? Now, the way I am my behavior, not my behavior, the way my physical appearance has a meaning. That's what we should understand, that scientists discover already existing meaning in matter, whether animate or inanimate, doesn't matter, but already existing meaning. Animate beings, for example, why do you think the people keep cats or as pet dogs? Why do you think?
They're awesome.
They are?
They're awesome. They're great.
Why?
They're very
Why?
loving.
You know, for example, they can communicate with the dog much more than the stone in the wall of their house. So, because it is more complicated meaning, sophisticated meaning in the existence of the dog. More sophisticated, so human beings communicate with it. That's why they keep the dog as a pet. Otherwise, there's no point if they cannot communicate with the dog. But for a scientist, even anything, the air molecules, water drops, or I don't know, atoms, they are waiting, they have meaning in their existence, they are waiting to be discovered. It means communicated, as you said. Although you don't read the book, but the meaning is still there in a written language. written form of the language. Meaning is still there. But when you learn how to read it and make sense of it, the meaning starts communicating with you. Otherwise, it's still there. I think this is the reality of the existence of the things in the world. In their existence, definitely there is a meaning. For example, do you want to have on your, which is the usual case, on your counter in the kitchen, a just simple stone or colorful, harmonious marble stone? Which one?
Colorful.
Why?
It's just better to look at.
It
looks
means
nice, it's a better experience.
The design has meaning, you communicate with it, you like it. For example, if a person is stressed and angry, sits at the table, you sit on the other side of the table, would you like to have a conversation with him? So, he's very angry now. I may really stir him up more so that you keep. But if a person is pleasant looking, happy, and as soon as you come in, he smiles at you, doesn't say anything, look. From the behavior, you get the meaning, you feel more comfortable to communicate and interact with this person. So every being, every thing in the universe has a meaning, but it needs to be discovered. Yeah. If you don't know how to read, book has a meaning, even though you carry the book in front of you, they make a joke. Somebody didn't know how to read, but he took the book upside down and pretended to be reading, for example. So it cannot communicate with it. Although the same book in the hand of a person who knows how to read it will make sense to him. 24, very fast. Unfortunately, it was my mistake. I forgot. I got everything ready, but charger. Okay, inner, it said everything has an apparent, as it appears to be, and an inner meaningful aspect. Let's call it in this way. Meaningful aspect. What does the significance of this meaning? Why do you think everything exists in a meaningful way? Do you make sense of it? Do you deduct something from their existence in a meaningful way, or something that you communicate with? Does it signify anything for you? Did I make my question? Yeah.
So can I ask you something? The inner aspect, do you mean like the principles, the meaning?
No. For example, this is the table. Let's say simple, I don't know the material, but let's say it's made of wood. Simple. So it is wood, but as a table, it tells me something. As Matt said, you can use me as a table to put your things, your books for a student. I think Matt's age is, you are not a carpenter, you are a student. So you think the table is a good place to put my book. As a carpenter, to put the wood and his tool, work on it. It becomes a workbench for the carpenter. Because it has this meaning as well, but I am not a carpenter, I don't know how to read this meaning. And I think there's no meaning in it. So your question was?
So the question, as a carpenter, when you see the meaning, it means it's another kind of apparent aspect to me.
Doesn't matter, we are talking about, it's a table, okay, it's an object, that's it. But according to the capacity of the person, the meaning discloses itself to the person who knows how to read the meaning. For example, a student reads the meaning of the table as a place where he can put here or she can put the book. But as a carpenter, you can use me as a workbench. So as a person who's looking to cut his ingredients to make food, it uses as a countertop. It depends on which language you know. Accordingly, it discloses its meaning. But my main concern is, okay, what am I going to do with it, with these things that we have taught? What is the significance of it? We say everything has a meaning, okay, and when we know the language, how to decipher the language, for example, I think it's understood, there is no need to go further. When we know the language, we start communicating with it. If we don't communicate with it, it means we don't know the language. This is a reality as far as the existence of the things in the universe is concerned. But the question is, do you think the meaning in the existence of things only for us to communicate and use it, or to get other information from it? For example, nowadays, science, in general it shouldn't be, but science only communicate with the objects in order to exploit them, use them, employ them for their own purpose, which is not bad, you can use it, but do you think the meaning in the existence of the things only for this purpose, or there may be some other purpose which is even more important? Anybody? Come on, speculate on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
For what is the significance of the things which has meaning?
I would say that if we just stay like on the practical aspect of things, we might find a contradiction in the end, because at the end, like what's okay? This table serves as a place where I can put my book, but there's an ultimate goal, for example, to help me study and go further. I mean, each action must have an ultimate purpose, like a purpose that would be like beyond the first apparent activity. Otherwise, what would be this accumulation of just like using tools and
Okay, what is beyond? What are you looking for? Now, the battery of the laptop is going to die, but we will upload it, not the, how do you say, video, but audio
Audio.
of it, and complete it, inshallah, when it dies. So it's Suda. So still, what is beyond it? For example, I use the table, let's say as a book, okay? So that's it? Or can I get some more information from its being a table, only a table? Can I get some more information which is also meaningful and maybe more essential? What is that?
Looking for the carpenter because table itself.
Carpenter of what?
Table.
It means the maker of the
The
table.
maker, I don't know.
Yeah. So carpenter is using it, you know. But okay, that is made by another carpenter. But it doesn't matter. When you study the table, not necessarily you have to go into a scientific study. It's a table, simple. If you come across a meaning, the first thing a person is expected to do, how does this meaning exist? For example, when you look at the book and read the meaning, the first question you ask, yeah, this meaning is, for example, very smart, brilliant, I really loved it. Who wrote it? Who made it meaningful? So, through the existence of the meaning, not the content of the meaning, we have to watch out the difference. Not the content, salam alaikum, we are died. Not, we don't need this one either. No good, this one is okay, operating. So, through communicating the meaning, the object says to conscious human beings, you can use me for this purpose. But even much more important than this, the one who made the table, the one who wrote the book, want to introduce, for example, the one who wrote the book, the author of the book, wants to give you the knowledge through his knowledge. It means, in fact, the book is written by the author in order to introduce himself to the reader, his ideas. Did you get it? Did you get math? Did you get it? What the math, did you get it? You are not involved. Math. So now I think that you are the first time coming here. That's why I particularly ask you, because these people are trained in the method that we are studying. So if it is clear for you, it will be clear for me too. I don't know that. So, sorry, yeah. So there are two purposes. There is one object, only one object, but it has two aspects. Which aspect? That the one who observes it, observer, will communicate with it. It means the one who reads the book, this is much simple, will communicate with it, with the book, and learn something from it. That looks at the benefit of the existence of the book for the reader. For the reader. So the universe is the same. The things are the same. For example, I think this is a water bottle. Right? So, although it is empty, but let's assume that there is water in it. So, when I see the water in the bottle, if I am thirsty, I say, oh, it quenches my thirst, so I have drink it. From the way it exists, I extracted this meaning. from my previous experiences that the water quenches the thirst. Now that is one side of the water, the meaning of the water looks at me that I can learn, study it, investigate it, practice it. That's what the scientists do. And then learn how to utilize it. But on the other hand, there is another side. I think we have to be careful here. There is another side. Let's come back to the book example. I learned something from the book that is my benefit. Okay? But how about the author? Don't you think that the author is introducing his knowledge to me? By way of introducing his knowledge to me, he is telling me that, look, oh the reader, alaykum salam, oh the reader. Okay, welcome. Do we have an extra copy? Yeah, you have it. So, oh the reader, you need this information, I am benefiting you. It means acknowledge the reader, acknowledge the need of the reader. So he says, you need to learn this knowledge in it. That's why I wrote the book. So, which is not considered among the general public nowadays, even the scientists. Because one aspect of the book looks at the reader and benefit from the knowledge. But another aspect of the book is to introduce the author himself, which kind of person he is or she is. So I wrote the book. I know human beings need this information. I am very compassionate to human beings. I am compassionate and I want to help them so that the people will benefit from it and be grateful for the benefit they received from me. Communication starts in two ways. So unfortunately, we are used to communicate with the objects only with one very selfish way. How can I use for example, sunlight? Yeah? How can I utilize the sunlight to make electricity or, I don't know, I think vitamin D or something from sunlight. So it is useful for me, but not to a point that it exceeds certain limit, it becomes harmful. So I have to avoid myself after, for example, staying under the sun for hours and hours. No, 1 hour is enough, or half an hour to start with, to get used to it. And then maybe 2 hours, and then it becomes harmful. The sunlight gives this meaning, exposes this meaning to one who learns how to read the meaning. Bring him. So, who learn how to read the meaning. Of course, if I don't know how to read the meaning, it's a very deep subject, even the author wants to introduce himself and convey the message to me and make me utilize it. If I don't know how to read it, can I benefit from it? Can I utilize the knowledge? No. Can I? No. It's obvious. First, what we have to do, is to learn how to extract the meaning from the objects. There are many ways, as we said, for the carpenter. The meaning of the table is different from for a student meaning of the table, because student knows the language from its perspective, his perspective. Carpenter wants to learn from his own perspective. But nowadays, we are only considering the benefit in the meaning of everything, not only the book, even a stone, even, I don't know, a cat or a fly. Whatever you think, sunlight we said, water, the examples we mentioned. We are very selfish in our approach to the things, in physical things. Everything exists. Very selfish. We study matter in order to what? To use it for my benefit only. But at the same time, it has another meaning, which the other meaning is what?
Looks to my humanity.
So sorry?
Looks to my humanity.
Yeah, but introducing the author, introducing the maker. For example, when you have a very skillfully made, artistically made table, what you say? I really love this beautiful table. So I really love the person who made the table. He's a nice man. He wanted to make it attractive, beautiful, lovable, make the table lovable for me in order to entertain me. Do you understand this aspect? So we start communicating with the maker of the table through the language of the table. Look at this way of communication. People study nowadays the source of knowledge, etc., how to interpret it for what, for example. You know that. Come on, the word didn't come to mind.
Epistemology?
Sorry?
Epistemology?
No,
Source of
the other one. Later they developed another tradition. Interpretation of the meaning of
Hermeneutics?
Hermeneutics, yeah, hermeneutics. Hey! But we knew each other, right? We are not strangers anymore. Okay, slowly. You get used to it first. So, hermeneutics, it means even the materialist hermeneutics only communicates with the objects and meaning for which aspect, the aspect of which looks to himself, the human being. So they make sense of it. But they don't really seriously, maybe some of them, but I'm not aware of those people. Scientists are the best example for this. They study an object for what? I had a biologist, a very highly qualified friend, was studying the brain of a very small fruit flies. I don't know how they are called. Do you know?
Fruit fly, yeah.
Fruit flies. Why? In order to make medicine out of this brain material, very small. For what reason? That he made a long-term study on it. So, for example, why do you think he was studying on it in the lab? Maybe years he studied on it in the lab. Why? In order to benefit. But we have to question about this again, brain of a fly. Sorry?
Well, we have to think about its maker too.
We have to think
About its maker, or like think about the creator.
no, who made, because the brain, not the creator to start with, we will come to this concept. The brain of the fly is meaningful. Why is it meaningful? Why? Maybe for me to benefit from it, for the fly to use it, utilize it, but at the same time there is another aspect which is not touched upon, even mentioned in this age by the scientists. The maker of the brain says, I am knowledgeable, I am very talented. It means the maker of the brain introduces his abilities to the one who reads the brain, human being. It means it has two purposes. One purpose is to benefit human beings and make them feel much better, utilize them. But at the same time, the one who made the matter introduces himself to human beings, telling us that, look, I know you. You are in need of it. I prepared this one for you. So I love you. For example, if you, let's say, the simple example again, a house, build a house. You are the architect, for a person you love, okay? Let's say you want to get married, your other side, whatever it is, boy or girl, says, okay, make me a house, I will get married with you, and I want to see your tenant. So you make the house, how? You investigate your fiancé, let's call it, what this person likes, what he needs, he or she. So you adjust your work according to the expectations of the one who is going to utilize it. You see, the communication works in two ways. So when the building, the house is ready, let's say the girl or the boy comes and looks at it, no, it is exactly what I want. If it is so, of course. It is human example. It is exactly what I want. I need this, it is there. It is beautiful, I enjoy it. So, do you see the message here from the builder? It means, I know you, I appreciate your need, I love you, now are you going to get married with me? Do you see what I mean? Now, if you don't know the person, you cannot really make the house according to his way of pleasure. You cannot make it. So it means when we look at the universe and study the universe, even you study an atom or I don't know, a water molecule, you understand that somehow it is useful for you. How somehow? It means the one who is introducing, the one who made the water molecule for you, prepared for you, introducing himself by reflecting his qualities in the existence of the water molecule. Do you understand that? Usually nowadays, we call it secularist scientists, don't see this aspect of the message in the existence of the matter, so they don't acknowledge the one who prepared this matter for me to utilize it. They just say, very simple, accidentally it happened to be the water. It happened to be the fruit fly. It happened to be a table.
Like a coincidence or something.
They don't know. Whatever it is, it happened like this. I'm utilizing it. That's why they keep talking and cheating us, saying that, look, we are studying the universe and bringing lots of benefit to you, but ignoring the purpose in the existence of the things. Exactly. Yeah. Why, in our example of the fiancé, two fiancés, so one of them said, okay, I can get married with you. I accept your proposal with one condition, whether you know me or not. Show it to me. You say, I am going to make a house for your like, in order to demonstrate that I know what you like, which kind of personality you have. It is a very delicate subject. And if the person gets into the house is ready in our example, and says, the door is according to my size, the height of the ceiling is as I like, the color and the color harmony, the design and the architecture is exactly I enjoy, and never acknowledges the person's talent, the message from the person who made it. What do you think? This person is selfish, not grateful at all, very, very selfish, who's concentrating on his own interest, not getting the message from the other person that I love you, I know you, let's get married now. Don't pay attention to it. And the person who made the building, get out of this building. Do you see what I mean? If you don't really understand what my message is, I'm not going to give you that is why it is more important using the house, getting to know the message in the existence of the house than utilizing the house. Can you imagine the difference now? We are so selfish in our treatment of the beings, the things existing. Some people say environmentally conscious people, oriented people, they say we have to watch out for the earth. You know why? Not because they are going to get to communicate with the maker of the earth. No, for their own benefit again. Next generation, the earth will not produce any clean air, water anymore. So it is against my interest. That's why they think that they are being nice to nature.
Like vegans.
Sorry?
Like I have a few friends that are vegan and like they don't eat meat, and that's another argument that comes up often, that we're being cruel to animals, you know. So
we are being close to?
being cruel to animals.
cruel
like
to
by,
animals.
by eating them, you know.
No, they don't eat.
but
They
they
don't
don't
eat plants.
understand.
They don't eat animals. Their plants are living
They,
beings.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, they benefit from it,
yeah.
but they can, from their side, when they slaughter the animal, although it is killed, can they eat or can anyone eat a living animal? If they are eating meat or anything product of the meat or animal flesh, they accept that it is being killed, and I agree with it. Right? So they think that they are not cruel. They accept the death of the animal, death of the plant. But because of the perspective, they are interested in only from their own benefit, they don't think, look, they themselves are created beings as well. We are. And we don't like to be cruel to any being, even not the animals, plants. Even, can you be cruel to mountains, destroy it? Can you be cruel to any being in the world if it is not beneficial for me? Let me get rid of it. Or I have to treat them as they exist, preserve their existence without disturbing them unless there is a purpose. So we shouldn't be cruel to anything at all. But the ultimate purpose is it should not be selfish. It must be what? Why do they meaningful? How they come into existence in a way that I can utilize from them. And who prepared all the qualities of the things, animate, inanimate, doesn't matter. And for what purpose? What is the ultimate purpose in it? The ultimate purpose to communicate with the author. Okay, there's a mouse going on. Yes. All right, okay. So ultimate purpose of the creation as being meaningful, because making everything in a meaningful way, beneficial way, to introduce himself to us. Got it? The one who made the thing is to introduce himself to us. So we think that, for example, there's a baby here hiding under the table, getting to know. Okay, likes it. So we think that the baby is only a means of enjoyment for me. So when I communicate with it, it's lovable. When I look at the baby, it means care, took care of the baby. I enjoy it. Mother, father enjoys it. So gets pleasure. That's why people say, I want to get married and have children. Yeah, why? Troublemakers. It's trouble. You have to no enjoyable. Excuse me, with my example. What do you think the people give a shelter to dogs, pet dogs? Why do you think? Huh? And they feed them, they take care of them, they clean them, even they take them to a coiffeur, animal coiffeur, to make them look beautiful. Why? Is the dog aware that I look much beautiful now? The dog is no. Why do they make it? For example, parents make the children wear like children wear beautiful clothes. Why? Children are not aware of it. Why do they do that? Pretty. But when they grow, they become aware of it. especially the girls, start become aware of what they are wearing at the age of 3, 2, 3,
2 even.
even 2, yeah. They become aware of and they go and look at them. But before this, we decorate the room for the baby. Baby? Room? Beauty of the room means nothing. Why do they do it? Selfish for themselves. Selfish for themselves. We are so much accustomed with communicating with the objects only from the aspect that looks to us, benefits us, entertains us. Do you get it? So selfish. This is the selfish purpose of the science of this age. And also these people who don't really communicate really through the objects, the source of the existence of the object. Why, for example, an author wrote the book only for me, not the author. Some people likes it, and what do they say? I have to go and congratulate this author and express my thanks to him or her. But some people stop there. Most of the people stop there. Why? I learned it, finish. They never think of the author. The author of the objects who prepared the objects in a meaningful, useful way, we never think. You will study maybe 10 years, 20 years of science, you will never hear any sentence, even word, mentioning the maker. Because if I am selfish, I don't care who made it, I just use it. Now, this materialist understanding, approach of existence is the result of selfish interaction with the things, objects. Selfish interaction. But what we see practically, from time to time, a funny guy comes out among the human beings. Once in a while, a person says, "Hey, what are you doing in this world? You have a purpose, not only selfish, but the one who prepared this universe, this life, this body, these human qualities to you, wants to introduce himself to you." And they start mocking. What are you talking about? Come on, you found it and use it, forget about it. Yeah. Just, you came home, yeah, and mother prepared a beautiful, I don't know, I can ask Matt actually. Do you prepare your dinner? Your mother?
Sometimes, very.
So it's not help. But usually, mother prepares. Why do you think he prepares the food for you?
She knows how to make it.
Sorry?
She knows how to make it.
But none of her business. Why does it take care of you? So you are a being, she's a being. Why bother? Another being. But she wants to tell you something. Look, Matt, I am your mother. Yeah, Mom, I take care of you. I love you. If you need anything, I am ready to help you. All the message comes from not the food that you prepared the dinner. Through the food, the one who prepared, in this example, mother, wants to tell you something. If you ignore it, if you say, this food is delicious, I am going to eat it, enjoy it, and bye-bye. And the mother looks at you once, twice, 3 times, and tries to attract your attention. Matt, did you like the dinner? Yeah. Yeah. Do you think it happens by itself or I prepared it? You say, yeah, I found the food here, so what? You know, I want to tell you something. What? I love you. I care for you. Right? That is the message she wants to convey to you, so that you will love her in response. So you will say, you will see the food prepared nicely as you like it, and you will come, give a hug to your mother, say, Mother, I love you. You are the best mother in the world for me. Right? She will be pleased. But if you ignore, what does it say? This boy is very ungrateful. Whatever I do, he never takes notice of it, only selfish, uses it, eats it, benefits from it, and turns his back to me and go, I'm not going to make it anymore. So come back to our example. A person says and comes to your house, says, Matt, do you know why the food is prepared? Do you know who the food is prepared by? Huh? What is the purpose of that person who prepared the food for you? Not only to benefit you only, but through benefiting you from the food, he is trying, or she is trying to introduce her affection, her love to you, so that she wants to communicate with you. These people are very rare to draw the attention of the people to the purpose in the existence of the things which do exist in a meaningful way. They are called what? Say? Messengers. But only one. There are millions of people. One person comes and makes the revolution in the minds of the people. That is why these are important people that we have to take notice of. Because they don't speak as we are used to hearing. They give a break to our way of, how do you say it? Our general way of treating the world, treating ourselves even. For example, ourselves are full of meaningful characteristics, meaningful things in our being. Everything in our existence perfectly works, and also our human side is prepared in such a way that enables us to be conscious, to be aware, to read, to learn, to communicate. Why do we think that our existence is in such a way? We have to utilize it. We shouldn't be done. I have eyes, I can see, I don't care who made it, why it is made there. So I may try to work on it, how it works. So if something goes wrong, I will correct it. This is what I mean? Benefit. Selfish benefit. Never say that. Who organized this eye? Why? What does he want to tell me something? Like the mother in the example, prepared the dinner for you. If someone is a really human being, not selfish human being, normal human being, he will take the dinner and eat it and said, oh, it is beautiful, delicious, useful for me. Who made it? Who prepared it for me? so that I will communicate with the one who prepared it for me. The ultimate purpose of the existence of the things in such a meaningful, beneficial way is to introduce the author, the creator, the maker of this object to human beings, conscious human beings. That is the ultimate purpose. That's what the prophets teach. They don't teach you how to make the food, because everybody teaches it. Every mother is crazy about cooking and teaching the cooking to their daughters. By the way, all the daughters, mostly, some very rarely to boys as well, to their sons. Anyway, this is a social disease. They don't treat equally. So, what was the point? Everybody teaches that beneficial aspect of the things exist. Only the prophets teach. Hey, you are neglecting one another aspect which is more important for you to benefit. When you benefit from it, no, let me communicate with Matt. That is my now new and best friend, and he understands me. So, Matt, you ate the best food, okay, prepared by your mother, without utilizing it, not only getting the benefit for your stomach only, you ignore the mother, and to be grateful to him, or to her. Example, you don't do it, I know, but example. You benefit from it, all right? You enjoy the food for 1 year. You enjoy the food for 2 years. And what happens at the end? You get old. And the doctor says, don't eat this not delicious food. You eat only potato. How do you say potato? Smashed?
Mashed potatoes.
No, mashed potatoes. Nothing else. I know a very rich man, very, very rich man in the place where I was born, was prohibited, the best, the richest man. Anyway, the name is not important. It's not the point. When he got old, he had many different diseases, and the doctors say, you cannot eat anything other than mashed potatoes. And what happens? Again, mashed potatoes is a food as well. It's a kind of food as well. What happened at the end? Sorry?
You get sick of it?
So, ate and ate, and at the age of 80, 85, 90, and then
He died.
died. All your benefits, all your enjoyments
Gone.
is gone. Wow. For utilizing the universe, finding out how can I use it, that is not bad, but it is not the only thing. The better I get to know the universe, the better I communicate with the one who prepared it for me and communicate with it. Got it? So otherwise, if I don't communicate with the preparer, without fulfilling the purpose of my existence, my existence comes to an end. When I die, it becomes meaningless when I die. All the benefit is gone. Huh? Would you like to come in? Come. Come. Yeah, Zafar, come. Okay, come. Go. See, that's what you want, to be the center of attention. We understand that is human beings, right? Zafar? That's correct. Where is mom? Where is mom? Oh. So don't think that you are alone. So We understand now, don't we? What the author says, we are used to communicating with the outer form, apparent form, materialistic form of the universe. We ignore the meaning of it, which introduces its maker to us, so that we can communicate. For example, is it difficult? Not at all. When you eat the food prepared by your mom, at the end, Mom, thank you, it was wonderful. Look at the mom, how she is happy. She is happy to serve you. Look, very interesting. Mom is happy to serve you if she is acknowledged. If she is not acknowledged, what you will say? My son is very ungrateful. Whatever I do, he doesn't take any notice of it. And my purpose is pointless. So bye-bye. I'm not going to make it anymore. When you reach the age of 18, okay, Matt, find a place for yourself. What? You are a very selfish man. What shall I do with you? You see what I mean? Exactly the same way the one who prepared the universe for us will say, after we die, okay, you are worth nothing. You didn't fulfill the purpose of your existence. So I made all this universe ready for you. What did you do with it? Selfishly use it, as this nowadays scientists do. How can I benefit from it? How can I benefit from it? Never think what is the source of existence of it, what is the purpose in their existence. They never pay attention to it. Not all of them, but most of them. That is a very ungrateful attitude of human beings. So even the environmentally conscious people, or those people who don't eat animal meat, they are not being kind to animals. They are being horrible to the one who prepared the animal for them. They forget it. We say, no, we are not cruel, etc. You are much more cruel to the preparer of the animal as a food for you. Who is more? At least I slaughtered it without making trick, killing the animal in a kind way. Whatever, kill it. Would you like me to slaughter you, or give you an injection and give you a shot on your brain and kill you? Which one do you prefer? Or you prefer not to? Yeah, they understand. So, you are going to kill me. Whatever the way you kill me doesn't matter. When I die, it is the same. It is pointless. The point in the existence of the animals is to introduce the one who prepared it for you. To get to know him, communicate with him. What am I going to do? Thank him. Come on, it's very easy. Be thankful to him. Acknowledge him and be thankful to him. In the example of the mother, you are not going to prepare food. For example, mother, you did a very good job for me tonight. I am going to do the same thing to you tomorrow. Mother doesn't expect it. She wouldn't be happy. She would say, oh, you are a very grateful son? I will make it. I will prepare the dinner for you tomorrow as well, don't worry. What the prophets, the messengers, come with this news. If you are grateful, the maker of the universe is going to give you more. But acknowledge it. If you don't acknowledge him, you are ungrateful. That is human feelings says, okay, I'm not going to give you anymore. That's human feeling. This feeling is given to us by our Maker in order to let us know which kind of creator he is. Expecting the appreciation only, acknowledgement. You are not going to help the creator of the universe. Just acknowledge him. Is it difficult? To be thankful, to acknowledge and get to know him through his work. So study science, but for the ultimate purpose, which is acknowledgement of the maker of the thing, object that you study. That is what the prophetic message is. That's what the religion is all about. Very simple. To be very simple and very rationally consistent. What time is it? Is it? 12 o'clock? Oh, we have to stop. I didn't know. Just half an hour, maybe, I thought. Past. Okay. Any question? We studied one sentence, but it was worth it to me. I really, my mind became clear. The purpose of existence. Why do I exist? Now, I'm clear now. Yes, utilizing it, but while I am utilizing it, get to know the qualities in the existence of the things so that I will get to know the one who prepared it for me. Just say thank you. I am grateful. Don't ignore it. When you come home, last example, when you come home, your parents are sitting in the living room, you go to the kitchen, you are hungry, okay? Now, Matt will answer this. And you eat the food and come to the living room, sit next to your parents, say that, look, I am very lucky. I found some food on the table in the kitchen. I really enjoyed it. What do you think your parents will think? Crazy, yeah? You are very ungrateful and also not using your human quality. That's a message, man. That's a message from your parents. I love you, we care you. So if you don't acknowledge it, they will look at each other. Which kind of son is he a human being? They get disappointed. The owner of the universe who prepared this universe, if we just say, oh, we are lucky that the universe is just to be like this by itself. What do you think the source of existence of the universe, which is called in English God? So what do you think God will say? What? You just found it accidentally, the universe? Never again. I'm not going to give you again. What does it mean? In the language of the Quran, hell. Hell. That's what hell is. You won't get it again. Because you were very ungrateful to the maker of yourself and the universe. Hell is means this. One fire or something. That is what. No food, whatever you. Okay. For example, you can work, but let's say that no food, no shelter, no compassion from your parents. What are you going to do, man? Can you study? I think you are a student, are you? I think you must be, I mean, in this age. So, can you continue studying? Your life is not provided by someone. So you will be deprived of it. In the language of religion, the prophets is described, this case is described as hell. That's what, at the end of our life here, we will be left with nothing. That is hell. All the things we desire, none of them is provided. So we have to watch out.
So you're not talking about hell in our present life?
No, we can, but this is something else. You know, if you acknowledge that one, you will understand that. For example, I gave the example to Matt. What did I say? your parents will look at each other and say that this boy is not a human being. When he says, I found this, I was lucky, I found this food on the table in the kitchen, accidentally. What do you think? Huh? So your parents turn back to you and you feel that no one likes me. Why? And your parents said, okay, you go out, take care of your own. Got it? That is, you start here as well, but this is a vivid example, simple example, okay? Okay, thank you very much. We have to stop and go. Inshallah, on Monday and next Saturday, continue. Yeah? Every Saturday we are here. Every Monday we are here, inshallah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Amen. You enjoyed it. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal 'alim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amen.